So the engines roar into life and the drivers make their way around the circuit. Here's the starting order. Jacob Ashcroft starts from pole. Lars Lambers alongside on the front row. Felipe Reyes, Alexander Van Meeuwen, Thomas Verheyen, Finn Albert Jorgensen, Maria Roberto, Jent Thiemen and Victor Reutz and Jeff Verbeek ran out the top 10. Jonathan Valkenburg, Maxime Becker, Tristan Shea, Zega Fransens, Rory Armstrong, Tom Reed, Lieke van Berkel, Jacob Kubera, Bram van der Weken and Vic van Kampenhout complete the top 20. There'll be Ryan Rivers, Pauline van Breet, Jack Freeman, Kieran Stewart. Kieran might not be taking part in the race. We've got behind them Benedictas Masiokas, Jensen Walker, Vitek Kubera might also not be taking part. We have had the medical team on the circuit with Leon Herbos, Samir Paul, Tristan Abeels and Daniel Ferguson bringing up the rear of the field. So it looks like we will be down to 29 out of 31 runners and riders. So, red lights on the starting gantry once again. 13 minutes on the timer plus an additional lap. As I said earlier, Ashcroft and Freeman, they are the points leaders coming into this final championship round. It's a double header, so 2 race days, 1 today, and then they've got to do it all over again tomorrow with qualifying, the pre-final, and then the last race of the season tomorrow afternoon. The field slowing to a crawl coming out of the 12th and final corner here at Karting Genk. The Mini Max and Mini Rookie pre-final for day 1 about to get underway. Into the tram lines, revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady this time? The lights out go first. Time out as, Lars Lambers was looking very racy. Going into turn 1, looking towards the outside of Jacob Ashcroft. But Lars Lambers got through. Felipe Reyes gets through using the runoff area, which you can do on lap 1. After that, you are considered to have flaunted the track limits. Felipe Reyes touches the right-hand side pod of Jacob Ashcroft, who's now having wheel clashes with Lars Lambers. I think there was a little bit of a late lunge there from Felipe Reyes on that point. But the young Dutchman in the 107 looks over his right shoulder out of turn 9. Into Cafe Corner at turn 10. Send up the inside. That would have been Maxime Becker. He might be on the Praga chassis. As now Ashcroft looks up the inside, takes second off of Lambers. Across the line. After lap 1. Felipe Reyes leads the way, switches to the inside. Ashcroft around the outside and gets through before they've even hit turn 2. If that's a precursor to what's going to happen in Minimax, I'll take that all day long. Jent Thiemen started down in 8th and is now currently running, is now down in about 6th position, was running as high as 4th at the end of the opening tour. A little bit of side pod to side pod action a bit further back. But Ashcroft leads the field. Lambers second. Then it's Felipe Reyes. Alexander Van Meeuwen has got Jent Thiemen to the inside. Moonen gets through, pulls alongside, but Van Meeuwen up the inside through into turn 10. A little bit of a wheel touch between the pair, left front to right rear. But Ashcroft and Lambers starting to pull away. There's an absolute dogfight behind them. Battling over 4th place. Alexander Van Meeuwen now leads that train. Rory Armstrong has got himself up into 12th position. Make that 10th. And now, it's getting way too much pushing and shoving up out there. Alexander Van Meeuwen, all 4 wheels off the circuit, up in the air. Thomas Verheyen is dropping like a stone in a pond and is coming into the clutches of Rory Armstrong. Those two are battling for second in the championship. Ashcroft has got a nearly 100-point lead coming into this final round of the season. So it is all very much for themselves. Rory Armstrong, 24 points ahead of Lars Lambers and Thomas Verheyen. Lambers is second. Verheyen is a further 4 points adrift of 3rd place. 3 minutes down. 10 to go. Ashcroft continues to lead after lap 3. Lambers, Reis, Van Meeuwen, Verheyen. And Maxim Becker, the young German, has made his presence felt here. Started 12th, now up 6 places. He's got Yenthim in behind. Rory Armstrong has managed to get through all the melee and has got himself up into a decent 8th position. A little bit further back, Victor Reitz is battling away. Oh, 2 coming together, smoke billowing from the sidewalls down the Europolon. I think Victor Reitz might have been involved in all of that. Someone has dropped to the back end of the field. It'll be Tristan Abils, who was 10.9 seconds behind race leader Ashcroft after 3 laps. But there is Ashcroft. Lambers keeping in touch. Felipe Reis trying to hold off the advances of Alexander Van Meeuwen. Finn Albert Jorgensen, the highest of the mini rookie drivers, is on pace. 5th. Could it be 4th? Because Van Meeuwen has got to watch it. Jack Freeman currently running 20th at the moment. He's got to make some progression up the order in the mini rookie classification. Leaders come out of turn number 9, down the dip into Cafe Corner. Finn Albert Jorgensen, fastest lap of the race so far, 58.959. A minute and a half to go until we hit half-time in this race. Gap between first and second now expands to 3/4 of a second. And this is the first of 4 steps forward that drivers must make. Finn Albert Jorgensen. Oh no, that is drama. Drama for Yenthim Unen. A little bit further ahead, Tom Reed battling away with Maria Roberto from Dan Holland Racing. So Maria Roberto started 7th. She's currently sitting in 11th place. Jeff Verbeek is behind her on track. Verbeek has just been passed by Jack Freeman for 18th. But Finn Albert Jorgensen and Alexander Van Meeuwen are moving forward at a pace. Maxim Becker, the youngster in the 157. Running on the IPK Praga chassis, IPK Praga, along with Sodicat, Birol ART, and the Charles Leclerc brand of chassis will be this year's partners for the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals, taking place between the 2nd and the 9th of December at the Bahrain International Karting Circuit this year. 23rd running of the Grand Finals. Would have been 24th had the rescheduled 2020 Grand Finals gone ahead. They were originally due to take place in Bahrain later that year, but then got rescheduled to Portimao just a couple of weeks after the International Trophy. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic rearing its ugly head once again across the globe, including Portugal, the Portuguese government had no other alternative but to close it down and cancel the event. But Lambers closing in on Ashcroft. Nearly 2/10 was the gap last time around, but Alexander Van Meeuwen closing in on Felipe Reis for that 3rd place. Into turn 6 with 5 minutes and 40 still to go, plus an additional lap. Pauline Van Praet has dropped to the back of the field. I don't think the Dams Racing driver, the 135 from Belgium, maybe taking any further participation, didn't make it out of sector number 3 and cross the finish line. Five and a quarter minutes still to go. The chess games continue here in Minimax and Minimax Rookie. Keep your eyes on Maxime Becker. Rory Armstrong now 7th and climbing. There's only one mini rookie in the top 6, and that is the driver in 5th. That is Finn Albert Jorgensen. So effectively, that could be a win for him in that class. Jack Freeman was dominant and showcased real prowess at Ostricourt. Pauline Van Preet, I'm afraid to say, is out on lap 6 of this race. Lambers was just a fraction under a tenth behind Jacob Ashcroft after 8 laps, 4.5 minutes to go. Philippe Perez looked for a dive up the inside on Lambers through into turn number 9, but it was not close enough. Sweeps through into turn 10 at Cafe Corner. And this, folks, is Mini-Max pack racing at its finest. Lunge through the final corner. Philippe Perez gets through on Lars Lambers. Keep your eyes on Alexander Van Meeuwen right behind the number 142. And Lambers nearly got squeezed up the inside by Alexander Van Meeuwen, who holds on to 4th. It's 2nd, 3rd and 4th, a trio in a row heading into turn 6. Finn Albert Jorgensen has got the ringside seat and still at this moment holds the fastest lap of the race, completed on lap 8. Look at how close they are coming through turn 7 and into turn 8 between Philippe Perez, Lars Lambers, Alexander Van Meeuwen, and the leading mini rookie driver at this moment, Denmark's Finn Albert Jorgensen in the 165. Jack Freeman now has made his way up to 16th, 1 place away from breaking into the top 15. We'll have Jakub Kubera from the Czech Republic to deal with, and he's just making his way through into turn 12. Ashcroft now expands his lead to nearly 3.5 tenths of a second after what is now 10 laps. And again, it's a stalemate between 2nd, 3rd and 4th, with 5th waiting in the wings, ready to strike at a moment's notice as Finn Albert Jorgensen very quickly looked up the inside through turn 6 on Alexander Van Meeuwen for that 4th place. And still, guess who's going to get 2nd in this race? I can't even put a prediction down. But Alexander Van Meeuwen is again hustling Lars Lambers, who in turn is hustling. Well, Alexander Van Meeuwen, who in turn is hustling Philippe Perez. 2 minutes to go. And still, no one has made the first move. Philippe Perez defending quite sternly. Out of turn 2, into turn 3. Now, for those that might remember, cast you back to Racing Kart JPR at Ostricourt. Jack Freeman, I think, was that close to possibly getting a first ever overall Mini-Max victory as a rookie driver. Alexander Van Meeuwen up the inside. Lars Lambers loses 3rd place to the 127 from GKS Lemons Power. Of course, the team based out of this circuit, inaugurated by Mr. Paul Lemons himself, has run the likes of Robin Freins and Jensen Button, to name but a couple of drivers that have made it through the ranks of GKS. As Alexander Van Meeuwen keeping a hold of 3rd. Keep your eyes on Maxime Becker in 6th place at the moment. Jenthimunen recovering, now up to 12th place at this juncture. But now, Lambers up the inside, through for P3 on Van Meeuwen. Jorgensen was possibly looking to stick the nose up the inside of the 127 through turn 6 onto the Europalan. But at this time, that is not happening. And Maxime Becker was looking up the inside of Finn Albert Jorgensen to get into P5, but had to wait. Ten seconds to go on the timer. And now, as we cross the line to complete lap number 13, out of 15, it's 2 to go. Timer hits 0 right now. Van Meeuwen now knows he's got this, about 3/4 of a lap plus an additional lap to try and get past Lars Lambers once again for that 3rd place. So Kieran Stewart and Vitek Kubera, unfortunately due to the earlier red flag, were out. Pauline Van Preet from Belgium out on lap 6. Tristan Abiels being the last of the 28 runners and riders on the circuit as Finn Albert Jorgensen trying to tee up a move on Alexander Van Meeuwen. Leaders make their way through turn 10 for the penultimate time here on lap number 14 out of 15. Jack Freeman now rounds out the top 15 behind Lieke van Berkel and Victor Reitz. But one more lap to go. Ashcroft leading. Gap between him and Felipe Reyes, 0.178 seconds. Now into turn 3. Turn 4. Now turn 5, the last of the triple left-handers on the 15th and final lap. Ashcroft defends into turn 6. Felipe Reyes takes the slightly tighter line. He's looking to the inside down the Europalan to get through for the race lead. All sideways from Ashcroft. They come together and Lambers gets through. So does Van Meeuwen. Finn Albert Jorgensen nearly gets through. He does now. So Felipe Reyes with that late lunge through turn 7 has just cost Jacob Ashcroft the race victory. But it's Lars Lambers leading the way into turn 10 for the final time. And who would have thought this might have happened? A late lunge from Felipe Reyes means that out of the final corner, winning the day 1 pre-final from Belgium, it's the 1-4-2 of Lars Lambers that wins the race. Second, Alexander Van Meeuwen. And well done to a very, very happy Finn Albert Jorgensen, who takes P3. Nearly getting caught up in the crossfire was the young Dane from RS Competition. I know his dad is going to be absolutely beside himself after that one. Jacob Ashcroft takes 4th ahead of Felipe Reyes. Maxime Becker, Rory Armstrong started all the way down in 15th. The youngster from County Down and Northern Ireland recovered 8 places and finished in 7th. Thomas Verheyen, Tom Reed and Vic van Kampenhout, who started 20th, rounds out the top 10. How's about that for a change in the playbook? Maria Roberto, Jette Moonen, Lieke van Berkel, Jack Freeman, Bran van der Weken, Jakob Kubera, Victor Reitz, Samir Paul, Ryan Rivers and Zega Fransens round out the top 20. Tristan Shays, Jonathan Falkenberg, Jeff Verbeek, Leon Herboz, Benedictas Masiokas, Daniel Ferguson and Jensen Walker, with Tristan Abiels are the 28 drivers that completed all 15 laps. Unfortunately, Pauline Van Preet out on lap 6 with Kieran Stewart and Vitek Kubera. I hope they're both okay. Medical team was on site, but how's about that? Lars Lambers picks up his first win of the B&L Karting Series season in 2023.